Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's head outside and take a look outside our sweltering weather window. Once again today, 109 degrees yesterday. That is one of the all-time hottest temperatures in the Wenatchee Valley, and we came awfully close to that once again today. It's hot all over north central Washington. Even on the west side of the state, temperatures in the Seattle area in the low to mid 90s. And there's not a whole lot of relief in sight until we get into the first part of next week. But then we have to kind of worry about fire activity. We've been very dry with this hot weather and with low humidities and some breezy conditions to start next week. We're going to have to keep our eye out on new fire starts. And we'll have more weather for you coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. The teenager who allegedly burned down a Chelan barn while fleeing from sheriff's deputies is now wanted on a criminal warrant. A woman wanted for a July 20th assault and robbery outside Omak was arrested early yesterday morning at the Coulee Casino in Coulee Dam. And an attempted murder charge has been dropped in an East Wenatchee shooting incident. We'll talk about that as well. But first, our top story tonight. A motorcycle collided with a pickup towing a trailer yesterday afternoon in Manson, sending the motorcycle rider to the hospital. The Washington State Patrol reports that just before 3 p.m., a Kawasaki motorcycle being driven by 19-year-old Ivan E. Virueta of Manson was turning westbound onto State Route 150 from Wapato Lake Road when he struck a Dodge Ram 4500 pickup that was stopped on the highway waiting to turn south onto Wapato Lake Road. Virueta was thrown from the motorcycle and transported by ambulance to Lake Chelan Community Hospital with undisclosed injuries. The driver of the pickup, 41-year-old Alonzo Benegas of Chelan, was not injured. Virueta faces multiple charges, including operating without a valid driver's license and improper lane change. The teenager who allegedly burned down a Chelan barn while fleeing from sheriff's deputies is now wanted on a criminal warrant. Chelan County prosecutors charged 17-year-old Connor Leo Strange as an adult on counts including first-degree assault, first-degree arson, property damage, firearm theft, and possession of a stolen vehicle. Authorities believe Strange was driving a stolen Toyota sedan on July 17th when he ran from deputies and eventually hid in the barn on the Chelan rodeo grounds. When two deputies tried to confront him there, the barn burst into flames. The explosive fire allegedly left both deputies with concussions and burned Strange's foot. He was flown to Harborview Medical Center for treatment and later released. He's also accused of stealing about $1,800 worth of goods from a friend's house, including a shotgun. A judge signed the warrant for his arrest yesterday. As of this afternoon, Strange was still being sought. A woman wanted for a July 20th assault and robbery outside Omak was arrested early yesterday morning at the Coulee Casino in Coulee Dam. The Okanagan County Sheriff's Office said 33-year-old Morningstar St. Peter is being held without bail in the Okanagan County Jail on charges of first-degree robbery and second-degree assault. She was arrested about 3:15 a.m. without incident by Coulee Dam and Colville Tribal Police. A 33-year-old woman from Okanagan said St. Peter accused her of being a snitch before assaulting her and taking her phone and purse. The victim said she was sitting in a truck at 95 Old Riverside Highway just after midnight when St. Peter attacked her. Sheriff's deputies were alerted to the assault after a homeowner in the area reported an injured and bloody woman pounding on their back door. The victim was transported to Mid-Valley Hospital to be treated for her injuries. In other news, a 29-year-old Moses Lake man is facing federal charges for allegedly defrauding the government of almost $51,000 in pandemic loan funds. Dondre Charles Jackson was indicted on July 19th on 6 counts, including 4 charges of wire fraud. Federal prosecutors say Jackson fabricated a non-existent business in 2021 to apply for Paycheck Protection Program loans that were meant for companies suffering under the COVID-19 pandemic shutdown. Jackson received just under $51,000 in loan disbursements before the alleged scheme was discovered. He was arrested yesterday and released on his own recognizance. Jackson has pleaded not guilty. An East Wenatchee man no longer faces an attempted murder charge in a March shooting that left another man wounded. Last week, Douglas County prosecutors withdrew the charge against 54-year-old Sidney Robert Van Dyke, who shot an acquaintance with a handgun while sitting in a car on Valley Mall Parkway. Police said the alleged victim was attempting to intervene while Van Dyke experienced a mental health crisis. Van Dyke's attorney said his client believed he was acting in self-defense at that time. Prosecutors said they were unable to locate the alleged victim to testify at trial. Van Dyke was released last week from the Chelan County Jail where he'd been held since that incident. Well, when we come back, citing rising wildfire danger, the Forest Service has imposed campfire restrictions in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. The Wenatchee River Institute breaks ground on a new outdoor classroom structure. Heading into Tuesday's primary election, Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett has raised the most campaign money in the region as he seeks re-election. And tens of thousands of people have descended on the Gorge Amphitheater for the Watershed Music Festival, which began today. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
I'm John Volan, and I'm running for judge here in Chelan County. For more than 20 years, I've upheld the rights of the local community as an attorney, trial lawyer, and part-time judge. This fall, I'm running for district court judge. I'm highly endorsed by the legal and local communities for my thorough, fair-minded, and just approach. I'm the only candidate with civil, criminal experience, but experience as a judge as well. This fall, vote John Volan for Chelan County District Court Judge.
Welcome back. In another news, citing rising wildfire danger, the Forest Service has imposed campfire restrictions in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. The Stage 1 restrictions went into effect yesterday, meaning campfires will only be allowed at designated campgrounds. Campfires are also permitted in some congressionally designated wilderness areas, with the exception of areas where they're never allowed. Exempt from the bans, in addition to designated campgrounds, are group camps and summer homes under permit. The Wenatchee River Institute in Leavenworth will soon boast a new outdoor classroom for its education programs. WRI Director Carolyn Griffith-Boogert and Board President Laura Reichlin broke ground on the project yesterday. The structure will provide a covered outdoor gathering space during adverse weather or heat. It's funded by grants from the Rotary Club, the Leavenworth Fund, and pandemic support funds. Construction is expected to finish by late summer or early fall. Well, heading into Tuesday's primary election, Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett has raised the most campaign money in the region as he seeks re-election. According to the State Public Disclosure Commission's latest reports, Burnett has raised just over $48,000 compared to his opponent, Chelan County Deputy Mike Morrison, who's raised $16,400. Both Burnett and Morrison will advance to the November general election regardless of Tuesday's results. The second biggest fundraiser has been Ann Hesburgh, who is running for Chelan County Commissioner position 2. Hesburgh has raised $30,400 compared to with her opponent Sean Smith, who has raised $21,800. Both are almost certain to advance to the general election, with the other candidate on the ballot, Zachary Miller, having announced he is withdrawing from the race. Fundraising in the Chelan County District Court Judge race is almost dead even, with both John Volan and Alan Blackman having raised $11,500 each. Tens of thousands of people have descended on the Gorge Amphitheater for the Watershed Music Festival, which began today. In addition to seeing big country acts, they'll also be seeing some of the hottest temperatures in the history of the festival over the next 3 days. Festival organizers say they've taken extra steps this year to ensure the safety of concert goers. That includes free water stations, shade structures, and misters throughout the grounds. The Grant County Sheriff's Office is also encouraging people to sign up for emergency alerts by texting Gorge22 to 888-777. In addition, the Sheriff's Office has issued a list of tips to avoid problems, including staying hydrated, having a shredder pal who always has your back, and having an exit strategy in the event of an emergency. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Why is Jesse Jensen lying about Reagan Dunn? Because Jensen's hiding that he called socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez a fantastic role model. Like AOC, Jesse Jensen vowed to raise income and payroll taxes for government-run health care. Reagan Dunn's endorsed by Sheriff Dave Reichert and Washington police and sheriffs. Jensen praised socialist AOC. Reagan Dunn backed our cops, and they back him for Congress.
I'm Reagan Dunn, and I approve this message.
Welcome to Click It RV. How can I help you?
We're looking to trade in our tent for a new RV.
Perfect.
Let's take a look. Water heater?
Nope.
Does it have a queen bed?
No.
Does it have a bathroom?
No.
How about air conditioning?
Nope.
Well, you're in luck. We have the perfect solution for you.
We'll give you $1,000 for it.
What?
What?
That's right. At Click It RV in July, trade your tent in for an extra $1,000 towards your RV purchase. Come see us today.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's feature story, Rashad Ahmed Nouri, his wife, and 3 children arrived in Wenatchee this month as refugees from Afghanistan. On Wednesday, in an interview with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley's Dan Kuntz, Nouri, who worked for NATO in his home country, talked about their perilous escape from the Taliban regime. In part 2 of that story tonight, Doug Head of the Wenatchee Afghan Support Circle talks about the local effort to help the family.
So we put together an application. It's a government certification process, and we submitted it, and it was approved. And then we actually sat around and waited for somebody to accept our invitation. We didn't know he was in Abu Dhabi at the time. And so we went about 3 or 4 months with no action. One of the reasons is this isn't exactly a community with a lot of Afghans in it, right? I can't think of anybody, and I would know. I mean,
Sure.
I have a long history working with Afghans and I was in the Peace Corps in Afghanistan, as you know. And then we actually talked about, well, should we disband or should we keep going? And we decided to keep going. And about 3 days later, we got notice from the umbrella organization that a family had accepted our invitation, and they would be here within about 2 or 3 weeks. So then we got fired back up and started getting more serious about raising money and finding a place for them to stay and that sort of thing. So there's about 14 of us that are engaged in this effort.
And there's a fundraiser, there's a GoFundMe page. We're going to show you that in just a little bit, trying to raise $25,000 to help Rashad and his family. This is going to sound like a stupid question I'm going to ask you anyway. How are you doing? All things considered, with what you've been going through for the last year and a half, how are you doing now?
Now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better because my kids, my family are happy. They have place. Like 9 months we were something that everybody, all the refugee was calling for Abu Dhabi. It's a prison, like a jail. So we are happy that we are get rid of that place. So we are happy. Everybody is happy right now.
Let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast as we finally head into a weekend. And boy, it has been a hot week. I don't have to tell you that. We started off on Monday at 100 degrees. And we have just gone up from there. And look at today, another record high temperature, 108 unofficially. We were 109 yesterday, 105 our old record, and that was set back in 2014. 90 is our normal high temperature for this time of year, so we are well above that. We started off on the warm side again at 73 degrees. 64 our overnight low normal temperature. Record high was in record low 1983 at 52 degrees. Sunrise 5:35 this morning, and the sun sets tonight at 8:38. Let's take a look now what we can expect getting you into temperatures for tomorrow as we kick off our upcoming weekend, and we are talking more record highs tomorrow, just like today. 108 Moses Lake, Ephrata, Quincy, Wenatchee, all of us 108. 105 for Ellensburg, 99 in Lake Wenatchee, and 106 degrees for you folks in the Entiat area. It's going to be hot all over the area tonight. Very mild overnight lows under clear skies again, with lows in the mid-70s, driven once again by that area of high pressure. And this high also is more in the Four Corners area, and that's bringing some warm air up our way. Tomorrow, we talked about it, record highs expected, 108 degrees with all kinds of sunshine. On Sunday, really no different. The excessive heat warning now extended through Sunday, where we could also see record highs between 105 and 110. By Monday, things will moderate somewhat. Breezy conditions will come up on Monday. We'll see highs in the upper 90s, and that will be somewhat of a relief. And then as we get you into Tuesday and later through the week, we're going to see more relief, more wind too on Tuesday. It's going to be cooler. How about this? Upper 80s for high temperatures on Tuesday. That'll actually be slightly below normal for this time of year. The cool down continues as we get into Wednesday. We're going to stay with those breezy to windy conditions on Wednesday. High temperatures only in the mid 80s, so that'll be 20 plus degrees cooler than we're seeing today. And then by the end of our forecast on Thursday, we're going to stay with those windy conditions. Partly cloudy skies for Thursday. Actually a little bit of rain moving into western Washington for Thursday. And once again, mild with high temperatures in the mid 80s. Let's take a look now at that 7-day forecast tonight. Expect another mild one overnight. 75, 108 Saturday. That could be a new record. 107 Sunday, also a possible record. 105, our old record for both days. And then the cool off begins, especially as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday. Breezy to windy conditions. 89 on Tuesday, 85 your high on Wednesday, and 86 as we get into Thursday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Sheriff Brian Burnett. I've developed local relationships, built trust regionally, and brought statewide resources to build a safer Chelan County. As your sheriff, I will continue to enhance safety during these dangerous times. Now is not the time to get soft. Trust my continued leadership to protect our quality of life and your constitutional rights. Your vote matters. Vote Brian Burnett, Chelan County Sheriff.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
Don't know who does the voice for that intro, but I like him. He's good. Dan Coos filling in for Eric Granstrom, taking a well-deserved Friday off after suffering their first series sweep at the hands of Oakland. Houston was determined to get back on track last night against the Mariners, and thanks to Alex Bregman, they did. Alex Bregman had a 2-run home run early on, and then his tie-breaking double was the game difference as Houston knocks off the Mariners last night at Minute Maid Park. The final was 4-2. Here are your highlights.
117 innings, 112 strikeouts over just 30 walks.
As he smokes this ball to right field, that'll be off the wall on one hop. Gets to the right fielder more in a hurry. Jordan challenging. He is safe. He turns it on. That ball was off the wall in a hurry, and he still got into second base. Breggy has good numbers against Logan Gilbert, 6 for 14 in his career. And he drills one to left field. That ball is gone! Alex Bregman, a line drive into the Crawford boxes, and the Astros in front 2-0.
Good things happen when the Astros lead early.
Another base hit for Frazier. It's a leadoff single to start the third. Good take by Dylan Moore. He has drawn his walks this year. Here is the 3-1. Off the plate, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Consecutive walks after the leadoff single by Frazier.
Tied with really good numbers against Urquidy.
France with a high fly out towards left center. This sends Myers in front of the track to make the catch. Frazier tags. He comes home.
Santana batting from the left side, open stance.
On the ground, skipping to Gurriel, a little bobble, but he'll handle it. This brings in a run. Dylan Moore scores from third base.
One grounded toward third. Bregman backs up, makes sure he has it. Good. Altuve sends one down the line in left field. That'll be a fair ball and head towards the corner. Altuve will trot into second base with a double. He's there with one out in the third.
Bouncer up the middle. Frazier cuts across. And France is able to handle it, and it's in time. Well, not an easy play for Frazier.
Thought maybe he held it just a bit too long, but able to make the play, throwing back across his.
Now ground ball towards Altuve. He will flip it to Bregman. The turn, double play. No, safe is called. Astros are going to challenge.
Good idea.
Ball in the back of the glove and the foot in the air.
Call on the field is overturned. The runner is out.
Gurriel leads it off. He's 1 for 3 with a single.
Oh, got him. Scary moment with a pitch at 100 miles an hour up and in. Yuli seems to be okay.
Bregman 0 for 3 in his career against this hard-throwing right-hander.
There goes Yuli. The pitch is fumbled by Cal Raleigh. Yuli is in there with another stolen base. 6 for 6. That ball hit pretty well to left field. Back goes Winker, still going back. That ball's off the fence. Here comes Yuli. He's going to score. 3-2 Astros. Breggy with an RBI double. Jeremy Pena, the batter. That gets away at 101. Here comes Breggy. He's safe. Collision at home plate. Breggy hobbles away from the plate.
Andres Munoz put all of his weight on Alex Bregman, and they collided at home plate.
Bregman is back in the dugout. That's a good sign.
Both starters looked really good. last night. Houston's Jose Urquidy went 6 2/3 innings, allowed just a couple of runs, gave up 4 hits, 3 strikeouts. Logan Gilbert looked really good for the Mariners. He yielded just 5 hits. He allowed 2 runs. He struck out 6 in 6 innings. And as we speak, Game 2 of the 4-game series is underway. The Mariner killer himself, Justin Verlander, whose 13 wins lead the major leagues, is pitching for Houston. He'll go against Robbie Ray. Again, that game just underway. The Wenatchee Apple Sox jumped up to a 4-0 lead last night, but they couldn't make it hold against the Coulee Black Bears, who came back and knocked off the Apple Sox 10-7 at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. The Black Bears scoring 5 runs in the final 3 innings to toast the game away. The voice of the Apple Sox, Stormin' Joel Norman, as your wrap-up.
The Apple Sox fall 10-7 in the series finale against the Cowlitz Black Bears. Wenatchee unable to pick up the series victory. It's their 4th consecutive loss in a rubber match, and they had their opportunities in this one. Joichiro Oyama and Xander Orahudos both recording multi-hit games as the Apple Sox at one point had a 4-0 lead after the first 2 innings, but struggled a little bit in the later frames as Cowlitz would score 5 runs over the final 3 innings to pick up the win in the finale of this 3-game set between the 2 squads. Wenatchee, suffering the 3-run loss, now heads to the road to face the Kamloops Northpaws. They'll begin that series on Friday night at 6:35 p.m. in kind of a must-win scenario. The Apple Sox have lost back-to-back series. They are just ahead by a half a game between 2 teams in the second half standings. The Bellingham Bells just a half a game back. If they tie the Apple Sox, that doesn't matter. Bellingham's already clinched a playoff berth by winning the first half. But the Edmonton Riverhawks winning on Thursday night, they are a half a game back of tying with the Apple Sox for the lead in the North Division in the second half. So needless to say, a big series coming up this weekend between the Sox and the Northpaws. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, the Kamloops Northpaws. Whatever. This is a big series, as Joel already mentioned. Now, remember, a couple weeks ago, the Apple Sox swept Kamloops, but since they swept that series, they've only gone 2-4. First pitch tonight, 6:35. You can listen to the game on Sunny FM. And the Seattle Seahawks have reached an agreement with wide receiver DK Metcalf. It's a 3-year extension, $72 million. $58.2 million of that is guaranteed. This is according to multiple reports. Per Adam Schefter of ESPN.com, the deal contains a $30 million signing bonus. That's the largest bonus ever for a wide receiver. The extension will keep Metcalf under contract through the 2025 season. He had previously been set to earn $3.9 million this season in the final year of his rookie contract. In 3 seasons, Metcalf has caught 216 passes, 3,170 yards, and 29 touchdowns. The receptions and yards are the most ever in team history for a player. Over his first 3 seasons, the 29 receiving touchdowns are second only to Darrell Turner. DK Metcalf reported to camp when camp opened 2 days ago, but he said, I ain't going to practice until I get my contract. He did, and he is. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Stay cool this weekend, everybody. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And we are going to go right back to Dan Kuntz now for a look at what's coming up Monday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. I hope everybody has a great weekend. If you're heading down to Watershed there in the Gorge and George, have fun. We'll have your weather forecast to get your week going. As Grant's already told you, we're in for a significant cool down, and I'm all for that. Whatever news happened over the weekend, we'll have for you on Monday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And if, in fact, I win the Mega Millions lottery, I'll be here anyway. I'll have to get my last paycheck and clear out my desk. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Grant, back to you.
Dan, thank you very much. And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us, and have a great weekend.